Hi there guys, it's Karen Cochrane Hall from Tarabiz, Condado and clientmarketingsolutions.com. Yesterday I did a video Facebook live about the basics of the non-resident property tax. A brief recap just to remind you that those that weren't listening in and don't want to be lazy and don't want to go back and listen to the other video, which you should. The basics are the following: that a lot of people think that because they don't rent, they don't perceive an income from their Spanish property, that they don't actually have to pay an income tax every year. And that's not true. There is what they call a residual income tax, and you have to pay that come what may. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I would also remind you about, and it's what I want to go into a little bit more detail today on, is the concept of if you have your property rented out through a company and they have a retention tax application they hold back, instead of paying you €1,000 every quarter, for example, on the income generated from renting your property, they retain a percentage of that, and then they are obliged to pay that money into the Spanish tax office's coffers on your behalf. Okay, that is law, and they have to do that. Any companies that are renting for commercial purposes, they are obliged, they're forced under Spanish law, and it's finable if they don't. So the first thing that you have to be aware of is I'm going to say something that's typically Irish, I'm afraid. There's 600 days to the year, 365 days to the year. Out of that, if you have rented the property through an agent 300 days, you're still should be doing a residual income tax for the days for the own usage. Okay, so it's a tiny minuscule amount of money, but that's the correct way. So don't fall into the misconception that just because they retain money from your income, that's it, that's over and done with. And the second thing that you've got to be aware of is, just because they've retained at the moment, this year, it was 24% last year, and it's now gone down for EU citizens. The retention tax applicable from your earnings from the rental on your property is 19%. So just because they've retained 19%, don't make the mistake of thinking that that's it and it's over and done with. It could well be that if you've got a mortgage and you've got tax deductible expenses, that you actually could be due a rebate, and that is something that a proper qualified accountant can do for you at the end of your fiscal year. Okay, so just be careful with that you don't do the residual tax for the days in the year that you actually don't rent and you don't perceive an income, and there's a retention tax held back by the company that's commercially using your property. That's the first thing. So you have to do that the year after, before the end of the year after. So right now, for example, you should be doing the days that you have not rented the property, you should be doing the residual income tax on the 2015 days that you haven't rented. Okay, that's got to be done before the end of this year, 2016. And also bear in mind that they could have held back those 19% during the 2015 year, but it could be that you're actually due a pretty penny back. So it may be well worth your while to actually go to an accountant and get some money back. Why not? So just be careful with those two issues. One is a little bit of a warning, and the other one is a little bit of a bonus that you could actually be due to get some money back. And I think that's a very key issue that a lot of people don't actually talk about. So folks, I'm actually doing this Facebook Live on my Spanish taxes page, my Spanish property taxes page, and I might actually do it. I can see, I don't think Facebook Live, I'm not very au fait with this. The next time I'm actually going to be doing it from my own Karen Cochrane page, because I can see that it's not clicking through to my peeps. So I hope that this has been interesting. I will repost it so that although the people haven't heard it live, they will be able to listen back to it not as a normal video. And it'll also be on our YouTube channel, Tarabiz Condado YouTube channel. And there's lots of other little goodies there that will help you with your taxes and your business and paperwork and conveyancing and all that sort of happy stuff. So It's been lovely to speak to you. I hope that this has been interesting. I hope that you take heed, and it would be lovely if you do this stuff with us. Obviously, I'd love you to come to us as a client for us to help you and to serve you. However, if you are with an existing accountant, just ask those questions. Hey, ask the company that's rented your property out in 2015, or you're renting your property in 2016, and you have to do that tax return by the end of next year, 2017. Just ask that the company that's you're renting through, check that they're holding back the 19%, check that they're making the payments every quarter on your behalf, check that they give you a certificate of retentions once a year to verify that they are actually holding those monies back from you in the total in the year, so that you can give that to your accountant. And most importantly, ask them the days to qualify the days that they actually rented the property out, because the difference to the 365 in the year will be your obligation to do a residual income tax. Let's call it that. So that's another model. It's a 210 that you have to do. And then lastly, but certainly not least, just check that you might be liable or eligible, not liable, that has negative connotations. You might be legible. God, I really am getting myself tongue-tied. You could be due some money back, a rebate. That's the important thing. The key word here is rebate, folks. You could actually be due some money back from the tax office, from the retention monies that have been held back on your behalf. So I hope that my tongue-tying session has been very informative for you. Just get your act together. Be aware of what you have to do and ask questions. Always ask questions. Always have that point of curiosity. And if necessary, get second opinions. There's a lot of really good accountants out there in the beautiful island of Tenerife. So get your information right and get your act together. Get your house in order, because they are starting to find it used to be that you could all get away with a lot of things. These days, it's just not happening. They're looking out for us. They're inspecting us, and we've had a lot of people come in the recent months that they've had inspections. So it's not nice. So anyway, folks, it's been lovely to speak to you. I hope it's been informative. Speak soon. God bless. Bye.